From the properly named DJC Collectibles Studio, I'm Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane. And now, a guy whose last name is Peterson, but is not the son of a guy named Peter, Kyle Peterson.
Welcome, everyone. Kyle here with my co-host, Angie. Angie, say hello.
Hello.
It's time for episode number 21 of the Kyle Peterson Show. Angie, 21 episodes here.
We're legal.
We're fully legal now. Oh, how about that? Ready to go. And it is the summer of Hawaiian shirts for me. Going through the Hawaiian shirts, giving the Western wear a break for the summer. We'll be back with the Western wear in just a couple of weeks. Summer's almost over. I can't believe it. What is time? Where did the summer go? I have no idea. But Angie, how you doing today?
Good.
Good.
Getting ready for back to school.
She's ready for back to school. So what grade are you going in? Oh, okay. I didn't know what you were talking about. Going back to school for the kids. I see, of course.
I'm starting college.
Oh, there you go. Well, I know something that'll help you in college. It is the sponsor of the Kyle Peterson Show. It is DJC Collectibles. Use discount code 8OFFDJC to save 8% off your entire order. Thank you, DJC Collectibles, for sponsoring the podcast. And if you want to sponsor the podcast, reach out to the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, and Angie will get a hold of you. She'll get a hold of you there over at the email address. But got to give a special shout out to DJC Collectibles, week in, week out, the sponsor. We also had a second sponsor last week. You remember what sponsor that was?
Lego.
Lego, of all things. So shout out to the Lego Corporation. I never thought I'd say those, but if you want to, you know where to hit us up at there as well. But Angie, a wild week this week here. As you can maybe hear, maybe you can't. I don't know in my voice. It's going a little bit. I filmed a ton of content for my YouTube channel. Do you remember? I have a YouTube channel. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
You subscribe to
I've
that.
seen
Hopefully,
it.
you should like those videos. Make sure you thumbs the videos up. All those videos.
I'm that one.
Oh, you're that. There's two people. There's multiple. I don't know what goes on over there, but it's funny too when people. I just did a Tila Masters of the Universe unboxing, and the figure was absolutely terrible. And it's one of my most, at least in the last couple of weeks, whatever, it's like my most disliked video as far as thumbs down. But I have a feeling people are thumbs downing the figure, not knowing that they're thumbs downing my videos.
Oh, yeah.
Because the video is amazing. It's probably the best video on YouTube, not to toot my own horn. But unfortunately, the figure left a lot to be desired, and I had to be a little more critical on this one because it was pretty rough. I mean, sometimes, you can look past some things. I don't know about look past them, but they're not as big a deal. This one is the eyes were just absolutely atrocious. So
it's like they're siding with you, but
yeah,
unbeknownst to them, they're siding against you.
Yeah, they're hurting me and hurting that whole algorithm, all that kind of thing. So I always find that kind of stuff funny, but it's weird. And just like, Angie, I think there's people out there that are, obviously, if those two people are thumbs downing the videos right away, it's because of you is what they're doing. They're mad at you. They're jealous of you. Who knows what it could be.
I think they're sad I'm not there.
They just wish you were their co-host, of course. And Angie said if she can find a better paying co-host gig, she will be on the road. So if any of you are looking to, dole the money out there, Angie's a co-host for hire is what she ends up being there. But it's been a busy couple of days. I got a little sidetracked, Angie. I apologize. But I was doing a lot of videos over the weekend. I filmed like 20 videos. And I got to edit all those too. So trying to get around to all that. Just a very busy time of year. But then I had to go to the Quad Cities. Absolutely majestically beautiful this time of year. Let me tell you, and Angie, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you name the Quad Cities?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Davenport?
Davenport's one. Give up?
Yep.
Davenport, Moline, Bettendorf, Rock Island. There you go. Rock Island line. Now, let me tell you. But I was out there, and it was beautiful there. And I got Dave's Hot Chicken. We don't have those in my area, so it's always a nice treat when I'm going to Illinois or the Quad Cities or whatever. But I did have to speak all day as I was taking groups of management through some stores and pointing out some stuff, doing the things I do out there. And so I was talking a lot all day, 2 different groups, and then I had to get on the road to head home to you. And then it took me 3 hours to get home, but I had to stop along the way. I had all these conference calls for basically it took me like almost 6 hours to get home because I had to stop for all these conference calls. Long story short, I talked all day long yesterday, and my voice, I'm starting to lose my timbre. I'm losing my timbre is what's going on. So we're hanging in there with my voice here today. And I got a ton of content. Today is technically Thursday, Angie. I know most people are watching this on Tuesdays. Of course, early access, if you're a Patreon YouTube channel member, you can get this thing like 5 days ahead of time. And you can support the channel and beautiful Angie at the same time. But I had to talk. And I'm going to be talk in the next couple of days. I got a couple of days off to film some videos, get ahead, because I'm traveling to Indiana next week. When you guys are watching this, I'm on the road to Indiana on Tuesday next week. So, Indiana, Hammond, Indiana, I believe the hometown of Terry Funk, where Terry Funk was born.
Oh.
So we'll see what's going on. But no rest for the wicked. We know how that goes. My voice a little bit shot. But then Angie, I'm jabbering real quick. I know you're taking it all in here. But then I got home last night, Angie.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know these dogs we have. We have three dogs.
Yeah.
3 dogs.
Annoying.
And last night I let them outside in the backyard. And I'm sitting on the deck, letting them do their business in the yard. And like a lot of people, you have neighbors. And my neighbors to the side of us or whatever, right, depending which way you're looking. I guess technically the east of us, technically. They have a big dog over there, like a Australian Shepherd or something like that. And it's got one of those big woof, woof barks, that's just really annoying. Where our dogs are more... What kind of bark is
yappy?
that? Yappy, a little bit more yappy. And not super yappy, but more yappy than deep. We'll call it with that. But it drives me absolutely crazy because that dog next door, they got the wooden fence between them. They can't see each other, but they always run up and down the fence line and chasing each other and stuff. And our dogs are barking, their dogs are barking. And it's just, it just drives me crazy, especially after a long day. Drive me crazy. But the other thing that drives me crazy over there, Angie, is... it wears out the grass there. So, of course, it's all muddy and stuff. And when it rains, it gets muddy and you just hate it. And you just want the dogs to go outside and do their business. But then that dog's over there and it's just a whole fiasco. And the worst part about it is all of a sudden you're not planning on this, but then you have 3 just drenched in mud dogs or just muddy messes. You got to take an hour to give them a bath and all that.
Springtime is our nightmare.
I hate it. So I hate it. But anyways, last night, I was tired. I was worn out. I wasn't here for this dog rigmarole barking up and down, back and forth and all this. So
And your voice didn't need the yelling.
No, I didn't need the yelling. I'm like, dogs. And I'm clapping and yelling at them. And, usually one of them will come and then the other ones keep going. So I start walking on the deck and I didn't have shoes on. That was the fatal critical error right here is what I had. I didn't have shoes on. And I took that first step yelling and barking back at them and clapping. Took that first step and I had socks on and the steps there and boom, Kyle did a fly up in the air. Nobody saw this.
Like a cartoon character.
It was like a cartoon character. And we got like 5 steps down from the deck and I went just way up there. My phone went flying up in the air. I just remember going up in the air and then landing on my back on the 5 steps. And then I remember seeing just my phone poop hit there. And of course, face side down right on the concrete. What are those things on the
little
ground?
Pavers.
Little pavers at the bottom there. Bam, cracked my phone screen. Luckily, Angie is an expert in the cell phone stuff and had a nice protector screen on there. So it just broke the protector screen, not my cell phone. I would have been a little bit madder if that would have been the case. But I'm just sitting there and just laying there staring at the ceiling. I'm like, I can't move. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. And that's what I was saying. And I said, Angie, help. And Angie was like...
in the shower.
Yeah, in the shower. And she was doing other things. She wasn't listening to me. She had that nice, big, powerful shower head. She had that thing going. And little did she know, I was down there suffering, dying. And she was just taking it to the limits upstairs.
We were both moaning.
Yeah, that's right. So I was hurting. Bad.
Oh my God, poor thing.
I was hurting bad. And, it was one of those things where it hurt, but it was more hurtful at the time. But then now we're about a day later and it's really settling in. I've already had a bad back for like 3 years. And it's weird. I injured my back doing a video the day Terry Funk died. So it's a weird thing. I remember that it was during the Terry Funk tribute video I did on my YouTube channel. I got up to turn the camera on and something popped in my back. I heard it. It was loud. I have never been the same since that day. But have I went to the doctor? No, I haven't given these doctors any of my money. I haven't done that, but I should.
Why would you?
Yeah, why would you go to the doctor? It's been 3 years or whatever it's been, but
all the way till Hulk Hogan died.
All the way till Hulk Hogan died. It's still hurting me, and now it's hurting me even more. So today, I'm losing my voice. I'm in a ton of pain in my back. Every once in a while, I'm biting down on my teeth just to get through this here. So I wanted to put that out there. So I don't know. What can you do to help me, Angie?
Massage.
Okay, well, I'll hold you to it later.
Take a bath.
Take a bath. Well, you going to join me and massage me in the bath? Would that be a good episode of the podcast where we just set the camera
put
up?
You in the bath. You could still have underwear on or your little
No underwear in the bath for
No
me.
one would know if it was a bubble.
Yeah, we'll put bubbles. You and I will have a bubble bath foot to foot, and we'll just do a podcast episode from the bubble bath.
We definitely could in our old tub.
I don't
We
even
used to have
remember.
one of those huge, like, with the jets in it. One
Oh,
of those
yeah.
huge tubs.
Oh, yeah. And then we remodeled, and Angie got, what kind of bathtub do you got now?
It's like a freestanding tub that's black and white.
Yeah, it's like and you got a chandelier. Angie has a chandelier in her bathroom.
I'm very fancy.
Very fancy. She gets in there, she turns the lights down, puts some candles on, a little Taylor Swift going on, and then it's just, it's off to the races in there. I peek through the door. What's going on in here? I check it out. Just a good time. Just good time had by all there, except for me when I fell down and hurt myself. And the dogs didn't even care. They kept going and barking and stuff. And it was one of those times where I really felt old because, like, usually you bounce right back up. You're like, oh my gosh, did anybody see me? I just sat there and said, is this my life now? Is this where I am? Is this where I die in the backyard on these steps?
Imagine if I just found you dead.
It's going to happen one day. You got to prepare for it. You got to be prepared for me just dying one day. It'll be interesting. But keeping on with going crazy. So I was extra tired. I was sore. I was hurt. And then all of a sudden in the middle of the night last night, you remember this, I'm sure.
Well, it woke me up first.
Well, I smelled something, and I usually cannot smell, but it was very weird, and I just felt I was like in a daze or a dream or something. I wasn't sure what was going on.
Yeah.
But then I don't know how much after that you awoke, and maybe you should take the story from here because you were a lot more clear than I was. I was extremely foggy when this all went down, but I want to say it was like 2:30 in the morning, right?
Yes, almost exactly.
So what did you smell?
Extreme burnt smell.
Extreme, like fire burnt smell.
I didn't know if something was on fire. At first I thought, because we have a little air conditioning unit in our room, I was like, shit, maybe. Or can I swear on this?
You can say whatever you want. We're labeled as explicit. When you pull out the girls all the time, this is labeled as explicit, these episodes already. So say whatever you want.
It was like burning up. I was so scared.
Yeah, that wasn't the only thing burning up, but go ahead.
Yeah, just bad.
It was like a weird, it almost was like
horrible.
popcorn burned in the microwave, kind of, but way worse than that. And this went all the way upstairs into our bedroom there. And like I said, I was groggy. I had to grab the glasses like an old man. And I have my nightcap I sleep in. So like Ebenezer Scrooge or something. I put that over to the side. And I have my
CPAP machine.
I don't have a CPAP machine. One of these days, though, maybe I might need one of those. Who knows?
And then you had to get your thing to pull you up.
No, I have my old timey jammies where it was like a long flowing kind of robe type thing in my hat. I was just all natural. That's how I sleep. That's how you like it. You prefer it. You like easy access at all times. But no, I got up in a daze, put my glasses on, and went downstairs. And
you look cute in your glasses. You should wear more.
Maybe I will. Who knows? But I come downstairs, and I think you were already down here. But it's like 2:30 in the morning, and like the TV's blaring. All the lights are on down here. That's what I don't understand about these kids. Every light has to be on. We got like 50 lights in the living room, kitchen area, and like, why is every single one on?
Especially what I think is because they flipped all the fans on to get some air circulation, and so all the lights were flipped on.
We're getting ahead here. So they burned down the house. They had, and then it all comes back to Korea, really, at the end of the day here. They're trying to kill
the microwave. We have the curse of the microwave. With
the Koreans trying to kill my grandpa once upon a time in the war, and then the K-pop wars I've been fighting this week. All the stuff that's been going on, but they were trying to make what was
Korean corn dog,
a Korean corn dog,
cheese dog, or whatever you call it.
Whatever those things. They got potatoes and cheese on it. It's like a corn dog. They were trying to make it in the microwave on a plastic plate or something like that.
Our air fryer's like glitching out. Like the top doesn't have a read on it. So I'm the only one that can get it to go because I have it like fully memorized where the buttons used to be. So they attempted to put it in the microwave. Correcto? Correcto.
So, okay. They put it, I didn't know if you were going on from there, but they put it in the microwave on a plastic plate, and apparently things went south because we could smell it. It was a whole disaster. I didn't see the plate. I didn't see any of the fallout. I came down and made sure everything wasn't on fire, and I went back up to bed because I'm still pretty tired. So
I could not get back to bed, though. That smell.
It's just throughout the house. So, all the windows open, all that kind of stuff. And I think the smell's kind of out. There's a little bit of linger down here.
There's a little linger in the kitchen.
And then I made my oatmeal, continue being a very old man. I made my oatmeal this morning. And of course, I put a little cinnamon in there, a little honey, a little almonds, just trying to be heart healthy, trying to do whatever I can. But it kind of inherited some of that smoke from the microwave there. So
I'm shocked the microwave didn't go out on us. Because last time they burnt something in there, it just blew out the whole whatever.
Was there real fire? Was there a fire?
I don't know.
I guess the kids are still asleep, but long story short, what are they doing up at 2:30, eating all this food, having this party and stuff? It's like, you guys got to get to bed. School starts in a week. It's time to get back into sleep schedules right here. But that's all I needed. I hurt my back. I was sore. I didn't do it. And I don't take medicine for things. Usually I don't like to take medicine. I don't like to take Advil or stuff. I like to tough it out. I feel like if I do take those Advils or whatever, I'm going to really need them, and I want them to be extra strength to help me. So if I take them just on a whim, you get a tolerance to it. I don't want to get a tolerance. I want it to
And it's bad
really
for your
help
liver,
me.
too.
And my liver's already quivering, let me tell you. It had a heck of a workout back in the 2000s, and it's trying to less. Yeah, exactly. So a lot more going on than I anticipated here coming back just the last couple of days.
And we're clearly
Angie.
sleep deprived right now.
Clearly sleep deprived. And that's not the only thing I feel deprived of. I'm deprived of a lot of things right now. That's for sure.
Sense.
I don't know. I'm always making sense. Stop making sense. Talking head style. That's what I'm saying. But we got an interesting one this week on the Kyle Peterson Show, episode 21, once again. And we're going to do a little different order this week, Angie. It's time to try new foods because they might taste good.
Try a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. We gotta try new food because they might taste good.
All right, Angie, we moved this segment up a couple of notches here because we're so excited to try it. It's time to try new foods because they might taste good. What do you think, Angie?
I'm just excited I get to eat early.
You can eat early. It's about lunchtime. We're both fairly hungry right here, but it is almost fall. And I don't know if you guys know, this could almost be a deeper dive with harvest season is what it's known in the grocery industry. And every year it gets earlier and earlier, as we do know.
If you wait till you need it, it's gone.
Yeah, so here we are about August, 11th or whatever is when traditionally now, I guess, a lot of these things are releasing. Had the Starbucks pumpkin drinks came out yet?
They come back in like a week, I think.
A week. So usually that's the start of it, but grocery store is already starting. There's the Entenmann's pumpkin donuts, the apple cider donuts out there.
Candy everywhere.
And then you got Halloween Oreos, Halloween specific different things going on. So it is truly harvest season, starting earlier and earlier. It's kind of like my local Walmart, they started putting out Halloween stuff the day after 4th of July. So we're seeing that more and more. And you're going to start seeing Christmas stuff starting the end of September. So it's just wild how that goes. But I like a lot of the harvest stuff. I'm a guy that loves a good piece of pie. I love pie, Angie. Let me tell you. And I got some different favorite pies, of course, Angie. You make a sweet pie, that's for sure. But today we got a little bit of pie in the Try New Foods segment. Angie, what do we got today?
Apple pie a la mode.
Oreo. There you go. So Angie found these this week. What do you think, Angie? Any thoughts?
I think you're going to like it.
What kind of price we got on these?
I think it was $5.
$5.
So
and
it's
now,
like the price of the family size ones.
So that's one thing. And shout out to the Mondelez Corporation. Once upon a time, I was there for 10 years. They know people want to try these things, but they make you pay the expensive king size price for a little bit less. So they get you. And it's one of those things a lot of people get them maybe once, maybe twice, and they're gone for until next year, maybe. But it is apple pie a la mode. Now that means ice cream. Now, shout out to you guys. You guys let us know. Do you like ice cream with your pie? Angie, do you like ice cream with your pie?
Not really.
Angie,
I don't even really like it with a cake.
Yeah.
Because then it melts and sogs.
I get it. Angie likes a warm slice of pie, but she likes to put a slice of cheese on it.
I was just going to say, we should try it with cheese.
Slice of cheese right over the top of that apple pie.
That's some old man behavior.
That's some old man stuff. So my grandpa, one that fought in Korean War, shout out to him. He's since passed on. Grandpa Ronnie, of course. A man's man, a welder. He always put a slice of cheese on his apple pie, and that was the thing they used to do back in the day. I don't know if anybody does.
It's got to be cheddar cheese, though.
I don't know. Has anybody here heard this, that you put a slice of cheese on like your fruit pies? Peach, apple, blueberry. It apparently is a thing. It's a thing for some people. Not my thing. Not your thing either. It
makes sense. It will balance out the sweetness. That's why sometimes if you
so.
salt sweet foods, it actually tastes better.
I mean, and that's like watermelon. He will also used to put salt on watermelon. And ever since then, I've always put salt on watermelon. I always think that is great. Yep. So I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I'm not a big fan of cheese on there. But I'm also not a fan of ice cream on a hot pie. I just want the pie.
Yeah.
Just give me the pie. I just want to get in that
Especially
pie.
Since you really heat the pie up.
I like a warm pie. I like a warm pie ready to go.
You're all messy.
You know what I'm messy?
You
what?
got a little pen all over you.
You got pen all over me?
Oh my God.
I'm a hot mess today. A hot mess. I don't know. But I like a warm slice of apple pie. You like yours cold? You can go either way.
No, I like warm. If it's like
only warm?
If a fruit pie, yeah.
But you can eat it cold too?
Yeah.
I can't really eat a cold pie. It's got to be warm. It's got to be warm. So you go both ways.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of things in life. You just go either way. Either way. But this is apple pie a la mode. Now, one thing I absolutely hate, do people put whipped cream on pie?
Yeah.
I hate whipped cream. I'm not a whipped cream person.
I don't know if they put it on fruit pie, but definitely pumpkin pie.
I guess pumpkin pie. But yeah, I don't know about fruit pie and stuff, but I hate whipped cream. And I see people that are sitting there like our kids, they'll get the nozzle and they'll be spraying in their mouth. Ugh, it just makes me want to throw up. So gross. But I don't know. I like whipped cream for other things, not pie, right?
Not pie.
Not pie. But Angie, it's time to bust into this one here. What do we got going on? 150 calories for 2 cookies.
I feel like they always manage to get it 150 calories.
Limited edition.
But apple pie and vanilla flavor cream.
Expires February 2nd. So plenty of times. If you like them, you can buy them. You can stock up right here. What do we got for a smell?
I thought the cookie was 2 different colors, but I don't know if it is. It might just be the lighting.
Just one color. Smells like horrible.
Oh, no, I think it smells good. It smells like...
I don't know. It smells like a candle, but it doesn't smell good to me. I don't like the smell.
But it's definitely just a golden cookie. I don't think they did anything to the cookie.
I'm not a big golden cookie fan either. And it doesn't stick.
Good.
It doesn't stick really well. The cookie is not
I think it's
connected.
a freshness thing because I feel
Could
like
be.
all these limited ones always, they come up really easy.
All right, let's try it.
Okay, cheers.
See what we think.
Mm-hmm.
Golden cookie. Oh. Would you know this is apple if you didn't know what you're getting yourself into?
That's funny. You don't, like a lot of things, until you swallow it, the aftertaste, you don't really get. You get the cinnamon and the...
So
where you going with that?
I don't know. Where are you
What
going?
little pun? You're trying to make a little joke out of that?
Once you swallow it, you know just what it tastes like. It was good.
Whether you've been drinking your pineapple juice or not.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Pineapple Oreos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's fine. It's not spitting out of my mouth. I'm not going to spit it out.
It's weird. Like ones like this, though, it's like you couldn't eat a few at a time. You just like, it's just kind of like...
I just don't taste apple out of this.
It definitely has a cinnamon.
Yeah, I taste a little hint of cinnamon. It's got like, I don't know. It's not apple-y enough for me. I don't know what I'm looking for exactly.
Maybe the vanilla is overpowering.
That could be, and that's what it is. A taste of cinnamon and vanilla I taste more, and I barely taste apple. I'm not even sure if I do.
It would be better if it was stronger apple, but it is good. But they really could have upped the apple.
The cookie's golden. I'm not a huge golden fan. I don't know. It's fine. It's worth trying once.
Yeah.
It's a nice harvest flavor to get in the cool time. You know, it's sweater season and all that kind of stuff.
Ugh, apple cider donuts.
All right, what are you going to give this out of 5?
3.
3 out of 5, just a straight 3?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go a middle of the road. I'm just going straight 3. I'm going straight 3. It was almost the middle of the road 3. Worth a try once. I don't think I would buy another one of these. I think it's great to have once for the season, and then I'm done with it. I'm moving on. But
what of these have you tried and you've been like, oh, I'm immediately going to buy another package?
The first time the
strawberry one.
There was a strawberry milkshake Oreo that came out. That was the first like limited edition flavor that was really the start of this whole craze. Absolutely amazing. They flew off the shelf. They sold so good. I mean, I was selling case after case every single day.
Was it a golden cookie?
No, it was a chocolate.
Oh, so it was like a strawberry.
Oh, it was amazing. Flavor. It was double stuffed strawberry milkshake. It was absolutely amazing. A different style package that stood up. Amazing. Sold out, limited time, but then everybody was screaming they wanted it back. Came back with it like 6 months, 8 months later, ordered like 5 times the amount because they went so well. Nobody wanted them the second time around. It was the weirdest thing. We could not sell them to save our life. We credited out so many of them, so many stores, we dropped them down to 99 cents. And I've never seen the strawberry milkshake Oreos again. So I don't know if those will ever come back or not, but those were absolutely amazing. Those were my favorite ones. I don't know.
A lot of people were excited about those blueberries. I still get asked about them.
I didn't think the blueberry was the
they're
greatest.
Gone. They're gone.
What about Selena Gomez? She's still out there?
Oh, she is haunting us.
Oh, nobody likes Selena.
She's going to be those 99 censors.
Poor Selena. Nobody liked. I don't even remember Horacha or something, or what was it?
Yeah.
Something like that. It was terrible, but
it wasn't terrible.
It was horrible. It was god awful. God awful. When are we getting the Taylor Swift Oreos? That's what I want. Give me the Taylor ones. Who knows? But these, I don't know. Worth a try one time. Depends what you like out of your Oreos, all that kind of stuff. But to me, it didn't knock my socks off. Worth a try one time. From there, Angie's going to choke it down. There it goes. Swallow it down. Tell me how it tastes. Tastes delicious. Every last drop or every last crumb. That's what Angie gets. So there it is. That is try new foods because it might taste good, Angie. And now I just moved this story. This was on my list of stories to tell one of these times. But I figured let's move it up because we're talking pie here today. Might as well move it up. So we got a special Tales from Retail. All right, Angie, it's time for another episode of Tales from Retail. And this one goes back to, I was probably 20 years old when this happened. So this is a long time ago. I think I was 20 and you were like 4 years old back then. It was a wild time. So Angie, just a youngin' here. Just a youngin', of course. But Angie, I don't think I've ever told you this story, and I don't know why I would have ever told you this story, but you're in for a treat here today because we just had that pie Oreo. So reminding me of pies. And of course, back in the day, I was a frozen food manager when I was 20 years old at a pretty big grocery store chain that's still in existence here, getting ready to celebrate 90 years. Did you know that? Ooh. Oh, yeah. How about that retailer there? They should sponsor the channel if anybody. Been working with them long enough. But 2000, I don't know what year. Anyways, doesn't matter. I was 20 years old. So I was 20 years old managing the department of frozen. And I told the story when I first started how I had to fire a buddy of mine. And that whole fiasco, him smoking weed, we talked about it in one of the early episodes of the Kyle Peterson show, where I had to fire a good friend. And that was my boss at the time, the director of that store, trying to teach me a lesson in management to make me a better manager in the future. Well, I got a little bit more of that this time as well because unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, depending, I worked during the day and I had a team. I'd have somebody work with me during the day. Maybe it was Carzoli, maybe it was Scott, maybe it was Lynch, maybe it was Knowles. Who knows who it could have been? But there was a different employee this time, and he took over for me. You basically tag out. You tag your partner. It's 4 o'clock. Kyle's done for the day. Time for the night crew to come in. They'd work 4 to 10 o'clock, something like that. Keeping the freezer going, keeping everything going, and all that kind of fun stuff. And, I would sit there and go over, here's what you need to do. Run the ice cream back stock, fill the ice, face up the aisles before you go. Whole thing. Take a good break, get yourself a pizza, do something like that, have fun. But tagged him out, I went home for the night. But of course, once again, my director, he would come in during the morning, early in the morning, walk the stores, grab his cup of coffee, call out all the stuff, give it to the managers. Here's what I think you should do on top of your normal stuff. But at night, he would come back at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, whatever it was, do another walk of the store, maybe check his mail, do whatever, and then he would leave. Quite the job, especially making like $1 million a year, just coming in for like 3 hours a day. It must be a rough life. But he would always give me a call if there was something that he didn't like or something going on. He wouldn't talk to my employee. He would just go straight to me, and then I would have to talk to the employee or I'd have to fix it. We talked the story about my 21st birthday where I had to go ice out the cases and stuff like that. Well, that's where this one kind of goes because these were old coffin cases, stand-up cases where, most freezer doors in this time in age, whatever you want to call it, they have the doors that you open. You get your thing out, you shut the door back. Well, back in the day, and still probably some old stores now, it was just all open. It was open, it was a case, and it was cold through there. Well, the heat, the cold, whatever, the coolers would go up and down all the time. They would come down. And of course, sometimes, when the freezers go down, you have juices that will melt. Just think of all the things. Ice cream that melts, you name it, that can make a mess. Well, this was during the Thanksgiving season. And of course, pies were big in the frozen days, especially pumpkin pie. So we had a full-on end cap of pumpkin pie in the store there, in the open case and all that kind of stuff. Well, my employee should have been smarter than this, but obviously was not, and I had to pay the price for it later with the message and, of course, a phone call, of course, at my parents' house. This is before I had a cell phone, and they called my parents' house at like 9:30 at night, and that was just fun to do. Especially when I had school the next morning, college, going into work that night, working, then having to get up at 7 a.m. to go to college, whatever it might have been. But I get the call, and he goes, Kyle, I need you to get in here. You won't believe what your employee did. We'll call him Eric. We'll call him Eric is what we will. That might or might not be his name. Who knows? Who knows? We'll try to protect the innocent we can. He's not watching. But what he did is, you guys know those big black garbage bags you see, those big industrial garbage bags. So anyways, the freezer went down. And all the pies, obviously, have to be refrigerated, frozen. They have to be frozen. Well, what happens when the pies aren't frozen? They start to thaw, they start to melt, they start to leak everywhere. Well, that's what he came across at night when he was facing it up. Oh my gosh, this isn't on. There's something wrong with the freezer. It's messing up. So what did he do? He grabbed a bunch of black garbage bags and he cut the garbage bags to make like a big makeshift tarp. And he put 2 big kind of tarps with taping the garbage bag with silver duct tape on the black garbage bag. So picture this in your mind.
Beautiful.
And made a tarp over the front to kind of put like a door or a cover over the front. Then he got a big piece of cardboard. He cut off a box with his razor blade, got a marker, and wrote, "Pies are messy." Pies, and just the letter R, messy. Pie, and then in a handwritten on a piece of jagged cardboard and taped it up on there for all the customers to see. And then, of course, there's the 2 tarps so you can get in there to reach for your messy pie if you want to. And Angie, nobody likes a messy pie, right?
Nobody.
Nice, clean pie. That's what we're about, all day long. Smelling beautiful, looking beautiful, frozen if it needs to be.
Oh my God.
But pies are messy. And I'll never forget getting the call. He did what? What is going on? Obviously, the correct thing in this is check out, make sure there's something, maybe it's something easy with the freezer that you can fix. Obviously, he probably wasn't smart enough to do that. So he should have taken all those pies out of there, immediately put it in a grocery cart, taken it back to the freezer and said, "Hey, here's a note. We got to fix this freezer tomorrow," because you can't sell empty shelves. I say it all the time. And you got lost sales right there, of course, because you're tracking those sales. You want to be the best department, all that kind of fun stuff. But pies are messy. So I got the call at like 9:30 at night, had to go in there, had to take care of this messy pie problem. And it sucked for me because I had to take down his makeshift tarp and the sign he made. But then I had to get all these pies out of there, and it had been like hours. So it was just kind of cold in there, but it's leaking. The pies are leaking. Just an absolute horrific mess. And one of these days, I'll tell another Tales from Retail where I had a similar experience, but about 10 million times worse. We'll tell that one down the road. But I had to clean up this whole mess. But before I cleaned this mess up, I went over to, this is a grocery store back in the day. They used to have the film development area where you'd take your camera roll in and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that was still a thing probably till, who knows? It's still a thing now if you want to go to Walgreens, I think. But I went back there and I said, "You got a disposable camera here?" I wanted to take a picture of this pies are messy. And I hung that in my office there forever. Like, do not do this. And I had to have a talk with the employee and stuff. I couldn't be too mad because he thought he was doing the right thing. But man, oh man, can you imagine your director
I know,
walking
he probably
in?
spent a lot of time doing that
He did.
makeshift thing.
Cutting it up, taping it up.
Pies and saved them.
Yes. I'll just never forget, but it looked like something like out of the Little Rascals. Like the Little Rascals making their
Like
clubhouse.
the R was backwards.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It was, pies are messy. I had to take a picture of that thing and to show everybody, and I had that picture forever. I don't know. It could be bumming around the house somewhere, but whenever I hear pie, I always think of that fateful night where I'm, trying to go to bed, getting ready for school in the morning, and had to go back in and take care of business is what I had to do.
Poor dairy, frozen people.
It's a rough life being in the
and
frozen
you get
and
sick,
dairy.
coming in and out of the cold.
That was the worst thing, especially the summertime when I was a kid. I'd be in the frozen and I'd be filling the ice cream. It's 100 degrees outside. So I'm in the deep freeze, getting my ice cream, taking it out to the aisle, which is still cold, not as cold as the freezer, but you got the air conditioning on and all that, filling the ice cream. And then they'd say, "Kyle, we need you to go get carts." So I'd go out and get like 9 carts. I'd be bringing them in back and forth and all this stuff. And I'd do 9 carts at a time back then. I was a true professional.
That's why
now
they were paging you.
Yeah, I see these kids out there pulling 3 carts in from the lot. Like, what are you doing?
And they're struggling.
I would do 9. I had the magic touch. I could do 9. So I'd be doing that, but then it's 100 degrees outside. You're huffing and puffing, and then you're back and forth into the cold, the extreme heat and stuff. Man, I would just get sick. I would just get a stomach ache because your body just couldn't get acclimated to all the drastic changes in temperature and stuff. But man, oh man, wild times in the grocery store back in the day. And who are we fooling? I'm sure there's wild times in the grocery stores right now. I'm sure there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. I got stories for years on here, and we'll tell more of those stories in the future. But that's a little bit about pies are messy. But now, Angie,
I can literally see the sign.
Now it's time for Angie's 5th favorite segment. It's time for the figure of the week. All right, Angie, it's time for the figure of the week, your 5th favorite segment on the show. What's your favorite segment on the show?
Oh, we get to eat.
We're going to eat the food. You try new foods? Of course it is. Of course. And Angie, we're trying to think of new segments for the show as well. Angie's hard at work thinking up her own new segment. Angie's tips. Angie's pro tips. Maybe that's what it could be here. It's like You could just give your great tips on, cleaning or washing or changing diapers or who knows what it could be. Say, I learned this and here's my tip of the week. Angie's tip of the week, and just the tips all you want, right? She wants the full thing. I know she does, of course. So there it is. But Angie, you ready for the figure of the week? And what figure did you bring this week?
Mine.
You brought your figure. Okay. Yep. You're the figure of the week this week. No, this week is something different, Angie. I'm going to put you on the spot once again right here.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, she hates being on the spot. That's for sure. And if you get this right, I guess there's no right or wrong answer. So there's no prize. There's no prizes involved. I'm sorry. But Angie, if you had to list your favorite vampire, your favorite portrayal of a vampire, what would it be?
Is Elvira a vampire?
No. She is not.
I thought she was like a lady vampire.
No, she's a horror host. She's got two good things going for her, that's for sure. She's got the same last name as me too, and you, I guess.
I don't know.
But think of vampire shows you've watched, vampire movies. Is there one vampire, you hear the word vampire, what sticks out in your brain, in your mind?
Probably some like cheesy shit TV show
with
real people vampires.
The Vampire Diaries?
Yeah,
you used to watch that. That was your show back in the day. I never saw an episode. Was that a great show?
I don't even think I finished watching it. It just got to where it was like too much.
Would I have enjoyed that show?
No, you would have hated it.
I would have hated it. I would have said, these are not real vampires. These vampires aren't doing real vampire things. Vampires got to live like in the dark, and they got to be plotting their next move and turn into bats every once in a while. Now, in the Vampire Diaries, did they ever turn into bats?
No.
See, these aren't real vampires. These are phony vampires. Now, when I think of a vampire, I always go straight to Bela Lugosi. That's the first ever vampire I saw. A lot of that has to do with my dad and his model kits and watching the Universal Monster movies when I was like 4 or 5 years old. So when I think vampire, I naturally go to that. Of course, later on, I did see the Christopher Lee vampire and stuff. But I have a good feeling out here that a lot of people listening to this are going to say, the first vampire I ever remember is the figure of the week this week. From Sesame Street, the Count. Cutie. Count Von Count. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, and I've never asked you this question. I'll get to it in a second. As a kid, and I've told this story before, but never on the podcast, I absolutely hated Sesame Street. Those were streets I wanted nothing to do with. I don't care if I was 2 years old to 10 years old. I wanted nothing.
Too cool for that.
It was not for me. Sesame Street, these puppets doing this stuff, was not for me. Now, I enjoyed shows like Today's Special on Nickelodeon. I enjoyed a lot of shows, a lot of kids shows. Love some Reading Rainbow. Me and Lavar, we'd read books together. I'd say, man, Dad, I need to go to the library. Lavar showed me this on Reading Rainbow today. It's got the President's Circle Choice Award winner. It's got to be a good book. I got to get there to get a hold of that.
You know what's funny? I think that was the first black person I ever saw.
Yeah, Angie.
Because I was in such a small town. There was just like...
It's a while because, Angie grew up...
I saw him on TV and remember being like, whoa.
You said, what is this guy with the skin of chocolate here is what you said. But Angie couldn't believe it. Being a little kid growing up in rural community, no black people there. It's a wild thing. And Angie, I think Dan the Can Man was the first black guy you ever saw. He's not black? I thought that was the guy. Dan the Can Man. He got all the pop cans and would take them to the recycling place. But it's funny, I had a good buddy. He's a good buddy still to this day. I used to work with at, once again, Mondelez. And he got a sales rep position for our company, and he had to go service the stores in rural Iowa, like deep southern Iowa. Northern Iowa, central and northern Iowa, if you look at it on a map up north, is pretty much knows what's going on. Southern Iowa, it's a whole nother world down there. Whole nother world. I had my stint down there for work, too, and I saw things that have scarred me to this day down there. Run-ins with the Amish people down there, and just, it's town to town, and these towns of 400, 500 people. It's just a different world going from these. But my buddy, he was a black guy, and he was awesome. He played for the United Panthers, too, and there's a long story there. Maybe we'll tell that story, too. But he was a football player and stuff. But he got his first sales rep job down in southern Iowa. And he would tell me these stories of these old farmer ladies and stuff that would come up to him in the grocery store, like legit never seen a black guy before. And they would tell him, can I touch you? They would want to touch him.
At least they weren't racist.
No, well, I'm sure they were,
they probably were.
But like this old 80-year-old woman, like little old lady, can I touch you? It's like so weird but funny because it's like an old, and he was he still is a super nice guy. So he was like a good sport about that stuff. He never went off on him or anything like that. But just wild that these people down there. And then he had big dreads. He had some awesome dreads. And nobody had ever seen dreads. You don't see a lot of dreads in this day and age unless you're at a Fish concert or something. But the ladies and stuff would want to touch his dreads and stuff. But one time being a manager, there was a grocery chain, not the one I worked at, a different chain. And I'm getting on a tangent here. But they
talked about figure.
We went in there and like the manager was like a legit racist, like out and about it. Like, so me and the account manager had to go down to the store and like, we'll just call the manager Kevin. Maybe not. Who knows? Had to go sit there and he's like telling us like, yeah, you know, he's black. I don't want him in my store. And I'm like, this is like 2010 or something like that. I was like, I felt like I was like in the 1950s or something. I was like, and I'm just soaking it in. And the other manager, we're just like looking at each other like, is this a real conversation we're actually having, that because he's black, he's not allowed in the store? So, Kevin, if that may or may not be your name, you can't do that. This isn't the 50s. Like, he is allowed in your store. Like, it was a whole fiasco. So, just wild times there. I don't even know how we got talking about that. Oh, because of you. It's all your fault. You and
Rainbow.
You and old Lavar Burton. You know, the first black guy you ever saw was Lavar Burton. Oh, wild times. Wild times for Angie there. But back to reading Rainbow was a great show. And that's where we'll leave it. We just cover all kinds of racism on this channel. This is a hard-hitting podcast is what this is.
I love black people, by the way.
Oh, do you now? Okay. All right. Yeah, good save. Good save.
I feel like Tom Cruise in that one movie. He's like, I love black people. Show me the money.
Just wait for question of the week this week. It's going to get even more racist. That's what it's going to get. We'll see. Maybe not.
What's happening?
But I love reading Rainbow. So I loved a lot of those shows, but Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers were not for me. I remember my grandma trying to sit me down to force it because my uncle was like 10, 12 years older than me. And he loved that stuff. So she just said, oh, Kyle's kind of in the same bracket. He's going to love it. Get me out of this, Big Bird. Get me out of this stuff. It just did absolutely nothing. I wanted to see Mask. I wanted to see Transformers, G.I. Joe. I wanted to see like guys shooting and trying to...
You said Mask. I thought you were talking about that one Cher movie.
Oh, I'm trying to see Rocky Dennis. That's what I want. And that's a story for another day. Well, Rocky Dennis, my dad...
that movie's good.
My dad still claims to this day, we need to get him on here. He refuses to come on this show. He did the intro one time, but he refuses to come on. But he said he went to school with a guy that had the same problem Rocky Dennis had. And he said, yeah, one day we were in class and his head just like exploded on the table. So I'm like, I don't think that really happened.
My God.
I don't know. Who knows? But now you keep getting me sidetracked from these stories. Where was I going?
Talk about, just talk about.
Oh, Mask. So Mask, I want to watch Cops. I want to watch Mask. I want to watch Transformers, G.I. Joe. I didn't want any of the Sesame Street here. But however, even if you've never watched Sesame Street, and I guarantee you I've never watched a full episode of Sesame Street once in my life, and I never even put it on for our kids. Our kids never. Like, it's funny, all these new Sesame Street characters, I said, hey, who are these? They have no idea. The only Sesame Street character they could name was Elmo, which I was kind of proud and almost a little sad at the same time that you should just know this stuff inherently, and they don't. So
I feel like they had an Elmo toy, but it was weird because they never watched the show.
No, nobody ever had time for that Sesame Street. But one thing is, it is very nostalgic for whatever reason. Once again, never watched the show, but you know the characters, you know them when you see them. So the Count Von Count is a pretty darn cool figure. Say what you want about Sesame Street. NECA is killing it with this Sesame Street line. I got Bert and Ernie, of course. Some people say Bert and Ernie are dating. Some people say Bert and Ernie are father and son. Have you heard this?
No, I've never heard the father and son, but I've heard the couple.
I was told in the comments when I did the unboxing, somebody can find it, but apparently when Bert and Ernie started out, there was like some kind of thing going on in the world where like the father wouldn't tell the son that he was his son or something. And he like pretended like he was like I don't know. It was weird. It kind of made sense, but didn't really make sense to me. I want to believe they're dating. That's what I want to believe with Bert and Ernie.
Because we love gays.
No, Angie doesn't like black people, gays. You don't like any of that. We know how you are. She loves everyone. Angie does. Let me tell you, she loves everyone. I don't know. A little too much sometimes, I think. Maybe. But Count Von Count is a striking figure, an amazing detailed figure. I love this stuff. Now, I was going at the beginning joking about vampires. this is about the least scary vampire in the world, I would
I love
say.
that he's purple, though.
Yeah, and I have to imagine most kids' introduction to vampires is Count Von Count. However, I don't think they ever call him a vampire in the show, I'm guessing. I don't think so.
I can't think how his voice goes. Is he kind of like, I
Yeah,
love to suck you?
yeah, he's very stereotypical. So I think most people have introduced into vampires. Unfortunately for the world in general, they should be like me, introduced to Bela Lugosi first before this, but
No culture.
You can't fight City Hall, but you can do the figure of the week here and a lot more with
I love how we actually talked about the figure for 30 seconds.
with Count Von Count. But now we got a very special album of the week. All right, Angie, time for album of the week time. And this is where Angie's going to take a big nap right here, I have a feeling. But Angie, feel free to chime in or do whatever you want to do with this as well. But this week, we're talking a little bit of Megadeth. You know Megadeth at all? Of course. Have you ever seen Megadeth in concert? I'm trying to think if you ever went to a Megadeth show with me.
Was there somewhere we went that they canceled?
Yes, the Motorhead Cruise. They canceled on the Motorhead, the first Motorhead Cruise, I believe. So they were supposed to be there.
I don't know if I've ever seen him. What's that lead singer's name?
Dave Mustaine. Yes. Now, I'm a big Megadeth fan going back to when I was about 10 years old when I think Countdown to Extinction came out. And that's right where I was into, really getting into the metal stuff. So that's always a special album to me. But the special album today, the album of the week this week, will be Rust in Peace. To me, their best album of all time. Countdown holds a special place in my heart because that's where I got into them. But Holy Wars is absolutely amazing. Songs like Tornado of Souls, The Five Magics, you know that one. Of course, Holy Wars, The Punishment Due. And probably my favorite Megadeth song of all time is Hangar 18. Angie's like, I've never heard the song, but if I played it, you would know it. That is for sure. But Megadeth, an absolute all-time, definitely a pillar of metal band. A little bit controversial because Dave Mustaine's never bit his tongue for anybody, anytime, and you got to respect people like that. I know a lot of people hate Dave Mustaine. They hate the Ted Nugents of the world, but man, shout out to them for saying whatever they want to say and not caring what other people think. So there is something to be said about that too a little bit. Wearing your heart on your sleeve, like I always say I do with stuff all the time. So very interesting. But the reason I'm picking Megadeth here, and that is my favorite Megadeth album, that is the album of the week. If you haven't heard it in a long time, you're missing out. And I actually enjoy almost all eras of Megadeth. Some people hate the Risk time frame. I actually like the Risk album. I like to crush them. I crush them all the time. I'm here for it. I loved it when they played on Nitro back in the day. But I do... Or I should say, I am a bit sad because Dave Ellefson isn't in the band anymore. I feel like Megadeth is Dave and Dave, the brothers Dave, of course. Dave Ellefson, from not too far away from here, met Dave Ellefson many a times. He was on that Megadeth cruise with us. We got the picture with him when he was doing his book signing or whatever. Angie and I got a picture with Dave Ellefson. Maybe I can post it in here if I can find it. We'll see. But love Megadeth, have loved them since the beginning. But they did just announce, just minutes before we started filming this podcast, Angie, that they have their farewell album coming out later this year. It's going to be their last ever album. And with that, a farewell tour. They are giving it up once and for all. And for some reason, I really think this is it. So many bands have said they're done, they're quitting, they're not touring. Ozzy Osbourne, the Terry Funk of music, for sure. He retired many a times. So many of these bands retire, then they come back. I mean, Judas Priest tried to retire. Scorpions tried to retire. I'm trying to retire every single day. It just doesn't happen. It's wild, but I think Megadeth will stay retired. Dave Mustaine's had some health problems. I don't know. Did you hear that story about how he fell asleep in his chair and he woke up and he slept on his arm wrong and lost all ability to move his arm?
Oh my gosh.
For years. So he basically had to retire then. He had to train himself to basically play guitar once again, which is wild because he's a great guitarist. So it's wild how that works. But I think it is maybe a good time to call it quits. There's something about not staying too long at the party. Look at the Vince Neils of the world. Have you seen those Frankie Valli clips?
When they're just singing to some track.
Yeah.
Just so
good. Frankie Valli just sits up there like a mummified statue and just mumble and doesn't even talk. And just it's his 1940s thing playing and he's just moving his mouth. Have you seen it?
Oh, no.
Oh, you should look it up. It's scary. People say he owes money to the mob. I don't know. Those mobsters.
He's probably actually dead already.
He could be.
It's just mummified.
Weekend at Frankie's is what that is. But I think this really will be Megadeth's last run. I mean, they've had members that have passed away, unfortunately. They've had some bitter breakups with some members. I would love to see one last concert where Marty Friedman maybe comes in, Dave Ellefson comes in. Anybody... You want Chris Poland? Is that what I heard?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if that's possible. But
is he dead?
Can we get James Lomenzo back in for a little bit? Let's just get everybody, cart them all back in there. But
There's like 10 people.
Megadeth's an important band for me, and I've always loved them. I don't talk a ton of Megadeth. I don't wear very many Megadeth shirts either. It's kind of like Judas Priest. I just never find any really good shirts outside of album covers every once in a while. But if you have not listened to the Holy Wars, the Punishment Due, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's time to check them out. I think I've seen them maybe 6-7 times in concert. I've seen them with Testament. I've seen them on the Gigantour with Motorhead multiple times. Just a lot of great times with Megadeth over the years. So it is a little bittersweet to see them go, but maybe leave at the top of the game, maybe something like that. We'll see what happens. So there it is, album of the week, announcement of the week, whatever you want to call it. Megadeth, Holy Wars album of the week. So there it is. Anything to add?
No.
All right.
I think so. Does Dave Mustaine like pie?
Oh, Dave Mustaine likes pie, that's for sure. That's
when
for
you
sure.
were talking about, this is why I'm talking about it. I thought you were going to say something about pie.
No, Dave, much like
Who doesn't
myself,
like pie?
a connoisseur of pie.
Huh.
I like it as clean as possible, though. That's for sure. But now, Angie, it's time for story time with Kyle. All right, Angie, it's time for story time with Kyle. The stories Angie can't get enough of here. And Angie gets
This is where I get comfy.
Yeah, this is where you get comfy. And Angie gets this segment about 10 times a day.
Yeah,
You
just
get
like
it.
every day is story time.
You're not going to believe this, but here's a fun one from this week on the road this week. So I was in the Quad Cities, as I did say, but on the way, I did stop in a town called Iowa City. You ever been there?
Yes.
You know a thing about partying in Iowa City once upon a time.
I've peed in those streets.
Oh, she's peed. Angie's she's not scared. She's not scared to pee on the street or the sidewalk or somebody's front doorstep, let me tell you on that. But Angie's been to Iowa City. She's grabbed a burrito at Pancheros maybe a time or two.
The grilled cheese.
The grilled
Those little
cheese,
carts.
man. What's your favorite thing about Iowa City?
Oh, God, I don't know now.
The grilled cheese, I guess. We'll leave it with that. You know, cheese me if you want to please me is what Angie says. But I did swing through and I had to get gas and I also stopped to get a little bite to eat is there. And I got in Iowa City and I remembered, oh yeah, they have an Ollie's here. Now, Ollie's, you ever heard of it?
Yes, I think
So Ollie's is like, I think most people that are watching this have Ollie's around them. We do not have Ollie's around us. And a lot of people in the comments of my videos, Kyle, Ollie's has this. Well, I don't have an Ollie's near me. The closest one's like an hour and 45 minutes. And I've been to a lot of Ollie's on my travels. And let me tell you, I've never seen one that I would ever drive an hour and 45 minutes one way and then an hour and 45 minutes back for.
What does that mean? Ollie oxen free. What does that mean?
I think you're free to run away or something.
Okay.
I don't have no idea what that means actually. But Ollie's has set himself up in the corpses of all these Toys R Us's and other buildings like that. So there's a little bit of sadness when I go into some of these Ollie's.
It's like the bin store.
It is. You go in and you can kind of see, oh, this is the guts of a Toys R Us inside. It's got the colors and stuff.
This
But
is where Jeffrey was.
yeah, Jeffrey used to hit over there. This is where Jeffrey used to pee. Exactly. But Ollie's is a lot of disappointments. In my travels throughout the Midwest and stuff, I don't know if I've ever found anything or really been bedazzled at an Ollie's store. But I said, you know what? I'm right down the street from one. I'm going to go in. I'm going to see what's going on. And if you guys watch my figure hunting videos on my YouTube channel, you can check it out. I'm guessing by the time this drops, it might be for Patreon members, but it'll be up on traditional YouTube eventually. The thumbnail is me walking out of an Ollie's. And I walked into the Ollie's thinking, hey, this is going to be great. And I would like to have an Ollie's in my area. It'd be a nice thing to hit every couple of weeks. And there is some deals there. It's a bargain outlet after all, Angie. And you love a good bargain, as we do now. So we'd probably go in there. Maybe you can get some fishing supplies, some close to expired food, maybe an action figure if we're lucky, maybe a book, maybe the good book. Who knows what you could get there. But I walked in there and I'm like, okay, people are finding ultimates. They're finding NWO 2-pack ultimates, ultimate editions, basics, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, let's see what they have. So I walk in, I film a little bit, but I didn't get to film very much. And now I'm going to explain the full story right here today. And I give a little hint to it in that video there. But I get in the aisle, I start filming. I found some ultimates. I found Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor, $19.99, about $10 cheaper. So that felt like a value to me. They had the WrestleMania main event basic series there. I'm trying to find the Liv Morgan for that. They didn't have any of those Liv Morgans, but their main event style figures are $10.99. They're $11.99 at Walmart and Target. That's not a deal. Ollie, what are we doing? We're trying to get one over on us? I would have bought that Stone Cold if it was like $8.99 or $9.99, but I said $10.99, too expensive for my blood. I can't spend that extra $2. There's no way. But But I was hoping to find that live. They didn't have the live, and I was hoping to find Steve Austin cheaper. Didn't have that. They had Elites, which I couldn't believe they had the brand new SummerSlam Elite series with William Regal. You've been on the hunt for that set, if I'm not mistaken, right? You've been looking for that William Regal as I've just put my finger. I do one of these, I just right in there. But I saw those Ultimates, which was Elites, which was very shocking because a lot of Targets, Walmarts haven't even got those. So Ollie's got them ahead of time. Very strange. But you can maybe pick it up on camera a little bit, but that whole time there's a manager and an employee, and they are literally going at it, fighting each other. Like, not fist fighting, but like verbally jarring back and forth. And the employees, I'm nobody's mother. I don't clean up other people's messes. Todd at night makes this mess, and he needs to clean it up. And then the FUs start flying back and forth, and, all kinds of salty language, like loud and proud in the aisle, which I know a thing or two about disagreements. I get a little hot, don't I, Angie? Mm-hmm. I get a little bit worked up. I'm most of the time a nice guy, but when I explode, and it's ugly, and I just had to do it last week. I still feel kind of bad about it. But I give you one of those kind of things right in somebody's chest, and you're telling me what the whole story. And I'm sure my face gets all red because I'm just about ready to explode. But these two were just exploding on each other in the aisle about picking up messes and stuff. And it was a guy and a girl, and the girl was holding her ground. I mean, she had a salty language. She made you look like a kindergartner, Angie. But she was just going off back and forth. And I'm like, I want to film this stuff. And they put their pallet and the carts like right in front of everything. And like, I'm trying to look, I'm like giving them kind of the nudge without saying stuff like, oh, reaching through them. You think they'd say, oh, let me pull this out of the way. They were too invested in their confrontation between the two. And it got to the point at the end where it was like screaming and yelling back and forth. And then a couple other employees came over and they're just like watching this. It's like, man, take it to the back room, take it somewhere else, or at least let me get my figure video done here. I came all this way. Let me film this. Them. So I thought about recording and I'm like, I don't know if I should do that. I don't know if you can get in trouble for that. I don't know what. And most people see my toy hunt videos. There's very rarely anybody. They're always like, Kyle, there's nobody ever in your stores. Your stores are always dead. Well, no, there's usually 2 toy aisles, then the NECA section. I look and I say, okay, nobody's in NECA. I'm going to go film that. And then, of course, oh, there's somebody in here. I'm going to wait. They'll be gone. I just wait and I pick my spots because I don't want people getting in my way. I don't want them in my way. You can get my way. It's kind of
awkward. It's got to be kind of awkward.
It is weird. It is weird. So, and I haven't went the way of getting like the Ray-Ban glasses and stuff that people do. I think that's weird too. It's like, what are you wearing sunglasses in the store for all the time? What are you doing? What are you doing? But it would be fun to film those people, of course, without their consent, of course. But just checking out some stuff.
If you're in public, you're consenting, technically.
I could be filming some real hot chick or something like that. Like when I was in Iowa City, I could be filming it, and I'd say, Angie, you won't believe it, and I'll send you the picture of this chick. Check out this chick here or something like that. Who knows? But these 2 employees just going at it really ruined my Ollie's experience. Ugh. Just ruined it. And I didn't get anything. I thought for a second, I'm like, I don't need any of this.
I can't support this.
I can't support
kind of
this
behavior.
I walked out of there. And usually I'll buy a drink or something. I didn't get anything. I just left. And I said, Ollie's, that's what you did. And then I went back on the road to the Quad Cities, and I was off to that. But I've seen a lot of battles in stores, but it's been a while since I've seen one like screaming and yelling in a store like that. So I don't know if that's typical. It probably is to these Ollies. There's a lot of weird and strange people go to these Ollies, and I guess now I'm one of them. And Angie is not. She's never been in one of those yet. So one of these days we're going to get Angie into an Ollie, and we'll film it too.
I've been to an Aldi's.
She's been doing Aldi's, that's
Not
true. She always brings her quarters so she can get her card out. We know that much. We know that much. So there it is. That's story time with Kyle. Angie, now we got to get racist once again. Maybe not. Maybe not. But it's time for a few final thoughts. All right, Angie, it's time for a few final thoughts and a few questions of the week. And the questions of the week, I actually brought 2 that were part of weekly purchases. Of course, if you guys don't know yet, every week I film a weekly purchases video. And Angie is the mail girl for that. She comes over and she answers a couple of questions or helps me answer a couple of questions. So a double shot of Angie. And it's funny, in some of the podcast videos say, we need Angie in more videos than just this. And then some of the weekly purchases videos, people say, we need more Angie than just this. That they don't know there's a weekly purchases. They don't know there's a podcast every single week. So it's always weird. And I've had people this week just alone reach out. Kyle, you referenced you have a second YouTube channel. Do you know anything about this? And it's wild. So it's wild what people see and what people don't. And then I get at least once a week, somebody always says, Kyle, you get all these figures. You unbox all these figures. I'd love to see what your collection looks like. Have you ever thought about doing a collection video tour? And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's the first video on my channel. And I do one every single year, but I'm threatening to never do one again.
Oh.
Can you believe that? So we might never do one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe we won't. Maybe we will. You never know. You never know. But Angie, it's time for question of the week, but I got a couple of ones that we won't put in weekly purchases. I figured they'd be funnier to do in the podcast. I think it works better for those, but we will have another question for weekly purchases. So stay tuned to that here, of course. But this one came via email. And if you want to email the show, Angie's all over it. Let me tell you, she's all over it. The KylePetersonShow@gmail.com. You can send your questions, feedback, whatever. Send Angie a gift card to Starbucks, whatever you want to do. Or me, and I'll give it to Angie, whatever. But the KylePetersonShow@gmail.com to reach out to the show. But we got an email this week here, and it comes from one Matt Drake. And I'm thinking, is this the Matt Drake I went to junior high with? I'm guessing it's not. Are you a fast runner? Are you a sprinter, Matt Drake? Could be you. We could be friends from back in the day.
Name Drake.
But it says, "Hi, Kyle and Angie. I've been enjoying the podcast since the first episode, and congrats on reaching the episode 20 milestone. Now we're 21, Angie, 21. Hopefully you don't end up stopping at episode 100. The verdict's still out. We're going to get closer and closer. We'll see how we're feeling. We'll see how Angie's doing. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure Kyle has enough stories to keep going far beyond that point. I think I have 1,000 story time with Kyle's in an Excel spreadsheet to pick from. So you're in luck right there. But it's got a long question.
You actually have a spreadsheet.
Yeah. I got a spreadsheet, Excel one. I just, because it's hard to think of these things. So
Excel file.
you put some notes together just, if you need something. So you got them there. I'm sure you got plenty of notes for this podcast. You do a lot of prep, I'm sure. Angie sets everything up, the cameras and the lighting and stuff. That's Angie's prep.
I just pick out our clothes.
Yeah, she picks out the clothes. Yeah, she's a clothes coordinator. Oh, Angie, you're just a handful. But here is the question. Here's my question for the podcast. I was thinking about the new Masters Universe Transformers crossover line in the context of something you talk about on the podcast all the time. You tracking? You picking up what I'm putting down, Angie?
No.
She's tuning out.
I'm already lost.
Do you think this line is the action figure version of limited flavor snacks such as Doritos, Pringles, and Oreos? Is Mattel trying to get a quick sale for people who are interested in checking them out and seeing what all the fuss is about? Oh, there's fuss, and Matt Drake knows there's fuss. I shouted out. And most likely the line will have only a few figures, then will retire. Maybe they expand the line if it happens to sell well, but they might be content on selling a few figures, then moving on to something else. Keep up the great work on the podcast and the YouTube channel. P.S. Kyle is my favorite. Get rid of Angie, get a new co-host. Ooh, ouch. No, I'm just kidding. I just made that up. It would have been the other way if he would have said it. But I 100% agree. It is a very similar thing here. It's like, hey, let's throw it out there. Let's get a couple of sales. Let's move on. Historically, Target and Walmart's, especially limited edition items like action figure lines, that is the exact reason they do that. It's like, we're just going to put it out for 3-4 series, move on from there. Now, we're in a weird spot in wrestling, for instance, right now with the Monday Night Wars at Walmart, Legends at Target. Those have been going on pretty long, a lot longer than normal limited edition lines. It's interesting to see how long those have went on. So they're bucking the trend historically right there. But it is, and we're seeing that with Turtles of Grayskull and all these other ones. They go out for 3 or 4 series. It gets the fandom engaged and stuff, and then it gets a little bit long in the tooth, and it's time to freshen things up, time to move it out there. Because let's be honest, he brings up Doritos, Pringles, Oreos. We can list a ton of things there. A lot of these things we try with these new foods, the minute you see them in the store, the minute you try them, that they're not going to be a nacho cheese Dorito. It's just not going to be a hallmark every day in, day out flavor. It's a one and done, something cool, something for a time period, something little. It's kind of like the Transformers Masters Universe that's coming out. Yeah, it's going to go a couple of series maybe, but I just don't see that thing going on for 10 years. I just don't think both fandoms cross over the same. Would you agree with that, Angie?
Speaking of getting long in the tooth.
Oh, you're getting older? You're aging
Is
here?
that what that means? I thought that means you talk too much.
You're getting aging right here at the table, Angie is. So she's going gray. She's going gray. But I think Matt Drake is spot on with his analysis right there. And that is the closest example between the two, I think, if you're going to compare those kind of things. But now, Angie, it's time to get into some other questions here. We got 2 questions of the week, and Angie's going to read them. Angie, read this first one right here.
Oh, my God. Is your wife an Indian?
No, read it right.
At Ty Cobb 6064. Is your wife an Indian?
Angie, are you an Indian? The $1 million question here. Now, let's keep this nice. Now, are you an Indian from across the sea, or are you a Native American Indian like a young Tatanka? Angie, what kind of Indian are you?
Do I look more Native American?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I've actually got that before.
Yeah, are you an Indian of any kind?
No.
You don't have a powwow. You didn't come from a reservation of any kind. She wants some of that repercussions, or what is it called? Yeah. Reparations is what you want. But no, it's very funny. Is a lot of times people, Angie, people are stumped by your ethnicity. It's like,
especially if I'm really tan.
Especially if Angie's tan, and when she gets real tan, chef's kiss. I love a good tan line. Angie, did I ever tell you that?
Can't do it though.
It ages you. It's true. Much. So Angie's got to do the spray tan, I guess. But you got to get the tan lines. Is what it's about. That's what the people like. The people want to see it. But Angie, of course, people mistake you. A lot of times you get, are you Indian? And I'm assuming they mean like Native American or something, Pocahontas or something. What is that?
Pocahontas.
That's right. That's right. But I think a lot of that has to do with when you get tan and you got the long black silky hair right there. I think that's what they think of. They just naturally think that. But you also get like people think you're from like Spain, like you're Spanish from like Spain. You know, she's from Ibiza or something like that. They think you got very exotic looks and proportions, I would say. Is that what we'd say? So people do get confused every once in a while, and they think that you're something that you're not. But I believe you're like, what are you officially? Do you care if people know what you officially are?
My dad's side is like German, like traced way back. Like they didn't mix.
So you're saying you come from a long line of Nazis is what you're trying to tell us there.
100%.
Well, that explains the Dan the Can Man comment earlier.
There's definitely somebody had a swastika.
Somebody along the way. But yeah, you do.
Guarantee it.
And your dad looks stereotypical German, of course.
So we look really alike, but he has a very round face. Mm-hmm. And then I get my like longer face from my mom, who is half Dutch, half French.
And you know what my dad always says? If you're Dutch, you're not much. That's what he says.
Your dad said that to me like the first week we met. He's like, them Dutch ain't much.
No Dutch.
Like, oh God, I'm never telling him I'm Dutch.
My dad had a lot of run-ins with some nasty Dutchmen once upon a time. Those wooden shoes, they hurt when they kick you. Let me tell you that. But so you're Dutch German, basically, is what you are. Okay, and I am actually my people are traced back to Easter Island. That's where I am from. 100% Easter Islander. I'm one of the last full-blooded Easter Islanders out there. It's a wild thing, but someday we'll go talk about Easter Island, and I can explain everything about it. A lot of people question and say, "What's going on over there?" I can tell you everything, and we will save that for another episode of the podcast there. But I love Angie's exotic looks. Let me tell you, and I know a lot of other people do too. But Angie, you're always looking good to me every single day. But it is funny. And Ty Cobb, of course, one of the all-time greats, he was very invested as he asked this question multiple times in multiple videos. He wanted to know if you were an Indian. And we can unfortunately say for you, she is not an Indian, but she likes Indian people. You've never disliked. I've never heard you say anything bad about the Indian people. Never once. Never once. Okay. But there it is. That's for Ty Cobb there. But now we got another one here, and Angie doesn't know this one. Now, make sure you read it. You got to read the whole thing.
Okay,
you got to read, and we definitely got to read the name of this individual. You ready?
Yes. What does that say? Curdy? Curdy Strent. At Curdy Strent. This is the first and last video I'll ever watch of yours. You're obnoxious. And it's obnoxious and bold. With how many? 3 exclamation points.
Kurt is Trent. So his name's Kurt is Trent.
Oh, duh, it's Curtis.
It's Curtis or Kurt is
my
Trent.
brain glitched.
Either way, but he looks like he doesn't put his real name in there. And he's got an anime avatar right there. So one of the, and I think I should start reading these hate things that I get.
Can you tell if like he ever will watch another video?
I wouldn't know.
Because that'd be hilarious if you could somehow be like, I thought you weren't coming back.
No, but yeah, he commented, "This is the first and last video I will ever watch of yours. You are obnoxious," in all caps, exclamation point. So I've heard that a time or two.
That's definitely for you, not me.
No, and once again, I was going to say
one would say that.
This was for Weekly Purchase. I brought it into here, but it was on one of my Shadow Weaver Whiplash Bow Masters Universe cartoon unboxing there.
Curtis.
But apparently, I am obnoxious, but I have heard that a time or two. And I always say it. I am not for everyone. Yeah, there's so many places you can go on YouTube. There's so many videos. How many videos are posted a day on YouTube? It's like 1 million videos a day. So there's a lot of options out there to watch.
And
so
everyone's not for you.
Everyone's not for me. I don't watch any YouTube videos. Only YouTube videos I watch are like, have you seen this exploitation movie from the 70s review? I don't watch any action figure stuff.
Terrible movie reviews.
Terrible movie reviews is what I enjoy. I enjoy that kind of stuff. Like, I've never seen any famous movies, but I've seen the worst movies of all time, and I love to see deep dive into that kind of
That's
stuff.
why we have so much fun when we have to pick out a movie
Oh,
together.
it's all day long.
It's so fun.
But it's so wild. You thought I was that obnoxious. And I am sure. And there's people that say, Kyle, I don't like your videos. I don't like the way you do them. I just want to see your hands. And there's a lot of people that have fetish for my hands, apparently. They want me to just do action figure videos where I do it more like a newscast, where you got the stuff on the side and you talk about it. And this is a journey between you and I. You watching this in the camera, you and Angie here today because she's here. But I like to be like you and I are just hanging out talking action figures together. And that's where the jokes come from and everything. But every once in a while I get stuff. Kyle, you're obnoxious. You're the worst. I hate you. Whatever it may be. And it rolls
Sounds
off.
like the kids.
Yeah, it sounds like the kids too. It sounds like the kids.
I want to move out. You're obnoxious.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Oh
but
my gosh. I got the modeling hand.
That's right.
I got
Maybe
those
we'll
long
have
fingers.
We're going to start tagging you in to do some of these videos here. Maybe we'll have I think one of these days, and we might do it as a Patreon exclusive, where you do an unboxing by yourself without me.
No, you should voice over and I'll like do it and try to be funny, like
predict
what you're
that
gonna
was
say.
too much work. That's too much work. I'm going to give you a figure and say, you just do the
Oh my
unboxing,
God.
do it however you want to do it. We're going to do something like that. But
I think I'll say it's cute.
There
I'll be
you
like,
go.
This little cutie.
There you go. But I'm not for everybody. That's clear. And I'm sure somebody out there doesn't like
funny.
you either, Angie. There's two people that
Of
thumbs
course.
down every video. So there's somebody out there. But everybody's not for everybody here. But I did find that to be really funny that this guy got so triggered by just a simple video.
He's like, caps.
Caps. He just went all out right there. So shout out to Curtis. Shout out to Curtis with a K. That's already creepy right there. I think Curtis should be with a C if you ask me. I don't know if I trust these Curtis with Ks, but shout out to everybody. And if you want to send your hate mail, send it to Angie at thekylepetersonshow@gmail.com. Comment in this video, whatever you want.
Oh my god.
But Angie, what did we learn today?
Oh my gosh, that we're not
We-
racist.
We learned that Angie is a full-blown racist.
We love black
learned this.
people. I'm not Indian.
Angie loves black people,
We're not
especially
Indian.
LeVar Burton, the first black person
I
Angie
played
ever saw.
college basketball, so of course I like
Angie
black
played
people.
college basketball. That is true. She was Caitlin Clark about 10 years before Caitlin Clark in the same state. One of these days, we're going to talk about my issues with Caitlin Clark, too, because she went to the rival high school that I went to. So we could talk about that, too. But we learned a lot about Angie here today. We learned a lot. We learned the ins and outs of Angie. Not as much as some episodes, but we learned a lot there. We learned a little bit about pies being messy. Not Angie's pie, but other pies. We learned about apple pie that's available right now from the Oreo company. Mondelez. Yeah, officially. We learned about Megadeth, Holy Wars, their fateful final album, Sad, Sad Times there. We learned about DJC Collectibles, the sponsor of this channel with Adolf DJC. Thanks for sponsoring the podcast once again, DJC Collectibles. We learned about burning down the house, Talking Head style. We learned about bad backs and falling down the steps. There was a lot covered in
We
this
learned my
episode.
nationality.
We learned that Angie's a German Dutch. She is not Indian, of course. And we learned about my time on Easter Island, which we'll talk about more in depth in another video. So I think that's it. I think it's all been said, Angie. So there it is. What do you think? What do you think? What should we do now?
Make lunch.
Make lunch? Is that what we call it these days?
Make lunch.
Okay, make lunch.
Wink, wink.
She's going to make me a sandwich. I can't wait. Roast beef. Perfect. There it is. Another episode 21. Angie, got anything last words to say to anybody? Want to blow anybody a kiss or anything?
That's not roast beef.
No, it's not.
No, it's
Clean as a whistle.
It's pink.
Clean as a whistle. Perfect. So there it is for episode number 21 of the Kyle Peterson Show. Angie,
Oh, see you next time.
we'll see you next time.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
Get that real guitar.